Hey guys, how's it going? Here we are here, pregame show, ready to go with the 11 games on Monday. Update you with the news, answer questions, all the stuff that we do on this show. Go through as much stuff as we can. As always, an injury report just dropped right now. Let's see what's interesting on it. Tari Eason was probable. He is playing. And that looks to be about it. That's the only news that just dropped. But of course, we had a bunch of other stuff happen. Isaiah Stewart is out. Anthony Edwards and Jaden McDaniels are playing. Mark Williams, doubtful tag legend, is out. Gordon Hayward is out. PJ Washington and Terry Rozier are playing. Wembanyama is ruled out for tomorrow. So I just went on talking about Zach Collins in the show earlier, the daily look ahead for Tuesday, talking about how Collins is a drop and only a hold if someone gets hurt. Well, there you go. Wembanyama is out. I don't think it's anything serious for Wemby. Don't worry about that too much. But Collins is obviously a guy that you stream in or hold for Tuesday and then make a decision after that. Torrey Craig has got a pretty acute heel injury. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what that means. I don't think Billy Donovan knows what acute means. It's a pretty acute heel injury. It doesn't have a timeline for return. That's not how you use acute, but whatever. So it looks like he's going to be out for a bit of time there. Killian Hayes is out today. Clint Capella is in. DeAndre Hunter is in. Miles Turner is out. That's big news. Miles Bridges is out, which we knew was likely to happen. What are we waiting on? Joel Embiid is still questionable. Bogdan Bogdanovic is still questionable. Bismack Biyombo is doubtful. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is questionable. Rashawn Holmes is questionable. John Collins is questionable. De'Aaron Fox is questionable. Anthony Davis and LeBron James are questionable. They're going to play. And Christian Wood remains questionable. I'll chuck the lineup screen up for you guys in a second. I think we'll do a dribble game today as well. We haven't done one of those for a while, so we'll do one of those. Let's chuck that screen over. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. If you hit thumbs up, are you a double banger? Well, this one's only a single bang because we are just, we're not doing audio. We're just here doing video. So good to have you guys here. So what I always find funny, when people jump into the chat and they write first, but they don't realize that they can't see any other comments, but I can see all the ones that commented before them. I don't know why people comment first. It's great. It helps the algorithm, but it's funny when you're not first and there's other people before you. All right. What else are we looking at here? Hello to everybody who is there. Can Isaac Okoro produce? Like, not really. I'm targeting rebounds, looking in the wrong spot. Steals? Sure, he can do that. PJ Washington? Yeah, look, he's a great option if you've got that space today. With Mark Williams out, he'll play his 30 minutes. With Miles Bridges out, he's probably going to play 36 minutes, honestly. What else is going on here? Is Eason good to go? Yes, he is, Romeo. What else is happening? We've got the Rockets lineup: Van Vliet, Green, Brooks, Smith, Şengün. Same lineups for them. Some of these lineups are going to be disgusting today. The Hornets one looks terrible. The Pacers backup center situation is shocking. It's Isaiah Jackson, who, if he doesn't foul out, might have the line of the night, but he will likely foul out. So then Obi Toppin's going to have to play center, or James Johnson. Like, it's pretty rough. As you can see on the screen, we've got all the lineups. We know the Cavs confirmed as well. Mitchell, Strus, Okoro, Wade, and Allen. And the Rockets now confirmed too. What else are we waiting for? So McConnell will move to the bench with Halliburton returning. We're waiting on Embiid. I do believe he plays. Timberwolves lineup's pretty obvious. Caruso's playing. I think he starts for the Bulls. The Heat one will be interesting. Does Josh Richardson start with Kyle Lowry out? I would guess so. KCP will start, if not Justin Holiday. The Hawks, with Hunter and Capella playing, I'm guessing that Okongwu moves back to the bench, but if they keep him starting, huge news. The Hornets, we expect Bryce McGowan's to be in there with PJ Washington at power forward. Johnny Collins and the Jazz, well, that lineup's always a complete guess. The Wizards are pretty stable, amazingly. The Kings will just be Alice for Fox if he is out. The Lakers will be their standard lineup. I don't expect any of those guys to miss, and the Knicks will be the same lineup as well. There you go. Embiid is playing. The lineup is Maxey, Melton, Harris, Batum, Embiid. Their same lineup. Embiid is playing. That is not a shock. That is what we expected. Let's do a quick look at dribble game. All right, Ben Simmons, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Who's a teammate of Ben Simmons and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Ben Simmons, Brooklyn, Philadelphia. Shai, Mike Muscala. Mike Muscala play in Philadelphia with Simmons? He definitely played with Shai. I think it is Mike Muscala. Yes, it is. Bang. Got that one. All right. Hello, everybody. Let's go back to more news. What else do we need to see? Go questions, you guys. Hit the thumbs up while you're here. With how Pods is playing, how likely is it he holds the rest of the season value? Well, it's obviously improved. Like, he is playing really well. And the switch, I would imagine, if Draymond was to say suspension ended today, the switch would be Draymond starting, Kuminga to the bench, and Pajemski would continue to start and play 30 minutes a night. There is going to be a complication when Gary Payton comes back, because otherwise I don't really know how he fits in. And yeah, Pajemski could fall away. But I would say there's probably a 50% chance that he has 30 minutes a night. How happy was my son when he heard the news of charges filing Staley and Telesco? Well, let me tell you, his Instagram story had the press release on it, and it just said LFG at the top with a lot of G's and a lot of exclamation marks. So, yeah, he was pretty happy. In fact, he was like, the Raiders game was his favorite game for the year because it meant that Staley got fired. So there you go. That's how he felt about that. Tillman starts on RotoWire. Nobody knows. That is a guess. It's an estimation, Ricardo. Nobody knows. But I would say that RotoWire is probably a little bit bigoted towards Tillman, and that's why they've got him starting. That seems how it goes to me. Yeah, but they're guessing. There's no lineup released yet. They could start Tillman. Tillman played exactly 0 minutes last game. I think there's a chance they go with Aldama and Jaren. Pacers starting Halliburton, Brown, Heald, Top, and Jackson. The Clippers lineup is the same as usual. Ayo Dosunmu is starting, not Alex Caruso. There you go. Dosunmu is starting. I don't care. He's not a streamable guy. But he is starting and not Caruso. Hopefully that enables Caruso to not get hurt every 5 seconds, but that means I'll keep his minutes down and his value is lower. But that is all of those lineups for the early games done. And then we just need the next batch, the 7:30 p.m. games, to jump out. Yeah, I just saw that one show about Kangon. I don't know what Marvel's going to do. That's like, obviously, the John Major stuff is shithouse. There was someone telling me yesterday in a tweet about like, hey, don't judge Miles Bridges too harshly. You never know what's going to come out. All this stuff coming out exonerating Jonathan Majors. That's what he tweeted to me yesterday. And now Jonathan Majors is fucking, I don't think he got exonerated. So I don't know what was going on there. What? Isaiah Joe? What's the question mark on here? Asa. Isaiah Joe question mark? What does that mean? Did I miss something that you're replying to? Tobias Harris for Dribble. Yeah, it would have worked, wouldn't it? But yeah, I got it right anyway. Do I expect Wendell back next game? No, but I do expect him back at the end of the week. But who knows? You'd think someone on Charlotte's payroll would have been able to say, yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you? You'd think they would have some sort of idea rather than get there and go, hey, you can't come in, and they have to scramble to get it fixed. But it's Charlotte, man, so I don't know. Should we look to trade for Cade or Ayton? They're not delivering what they should be. Ayton's a top 50 player in the season, -1. Cade's like 45th, -1. They're not far off. So, yeah, you can trade for them if people actually believe they're not performing anywhere near their real value. Ijack's numbers. Don't know. He might play 20 minutes. He might play 35. What you can expect is multiple blocks, high field goal percentage, maybe a double-double. But honestly, it's almost impossible. Your friend got 9 pairs of Kobe reverse. That's ridiculous. Why did he get 9? That's so stupid. Like, anyone in Australia, by the way, have there been any reverse Grinch drops here? I haven't seen any of them. 9 is insane. He doesn't need 9. Who's leaving the starting lineup with Jar back tomorrow? Their whole lineup is shithouse. So this is what I imagine they'll start. It'll be, and this depends whether Marcus Smart plays or not. It'll be Morant. It'll be Bane. It'll be Williams. It'll be Jaren, and then the other one will just be whether it's Biyombo or Tillman or Aldama. That's what I'm guessing there. But I don't even know what their starting lineup is today. Ricardo, you don't know how to use the word bigoted either. I do know how to use it, but I was using it in the way that you use it, incorrectly. There you go. Sorry, I'm behind on the chat, Asa. Do I think AO or Craig Porter are startable locked on cup point? Nah, I don't. No, not at all. Craig Porter probably doesn't play 20 minutes, and IO needs... And you can get enough games in this week. I think most of my teams in that format have got like 46 games played or 48 games played. I wouldn't be starting him, I don't think. What's wrong with Turner? He has hamstring soreness. Do I think he'll be out a while? No. No, I don't think he'll be out a while. No. Would you pick up Draymond in a 10-team league on my waiver? No, I wouldn't. You're tied for first. But is he even that high priority? I don't think I would, honestly. Maybe in a week's time I would. Is Cam Johnson a drop? Absolutely not. Not in a million years. Should you drop TJ McConnell since Hallie is in a 10-team league? Yes, 100%. Who's the most improved player of the year? I am going to probably do something on awards soon. I haven't done it yet. I don't know. Maxi is obviously really improved. I think Maxi's improved because he's turned himself into like a high level star player. There are some other guys who have taken their game way, like Kobe White. I think has improved way more than Maxi has. But how do you quantify it? That's the tough thing. And there's some other guys as well. Do I think Fox will play today? I do, but I don't actually know. Let's see if there's any other news that is coming through here. Nope, nothing else. When do I think Taylor Hendricks will be rosterable? It's a lot of these questions, they're like impossible to answer, right? I'm just trying to give guesses and giving you ideas and that sort of thing. When? Do I know? 1st of February? It's going to take a couple of things. It's either going to be a trade of John Collins / Kelly Olynyk, or they just bench him. And I can see it happening in January. I think it's way more likely to happen in March. But I don't know. Same as this. How long will they keep Scoot off the bench? I don't know. No idea. It seems ridiculous that he's still on the bench now, because if they're going to have success, they need Scoot, Simons, and Sharp to all play together instead of this 17-minute thigh ball thing. But I don't know. I honestly have no idea. Like, is Maxi MIP, or is Scotty Barnes, or Jalen Johnson, who went from a nothing out of the rotation player to a quality starter? Is Kobe White? Who else is there that's a most improved candidate? Cam Thomas, even though, like, you know my issues there. Like, who else is? There's so many guys that I could put on that list. Is Heald worth holding 10 points? No chance. Nope. Kobe 4, Gift of Mumba. Yeah, they're the green ones, aren't they? Yeah, I hope they... the last Kobe pair that I won was the Grinches 2 years ago, I think. But I haven't got any of the ones since. I hope I get some of these. What do I do with players who are questionable every game in a weekly lock? It's really tough, isn't it? Because that's why I don't really like weekly lock leagues. It's always going to be a case-by-case basis to try and figure out, is he going to play, is he not going to play, what's the likelihood, what are my other options? In general, you try and stay away from it because it can really wreck you. Yeah, Liu, I talked about that earlier about Jonathan Majors. I don't know what they're going to do with it, honestly. What's my potential future ranking for a man? This season? No idea. In the future, he can easily be a top 25 player. That won't be next season, though. Is Max Strus a must roster? Yes, he is. Do I think Russell Westbrook would be poached for a trade? For a team tanking, yeah, maybe. Why would they? Why? You need to get it through your head, Funny Bot, and all other Russell Westbrook fans. He is not good anymore. He's not this hidden gem that other teams are going to grab. He is not good anymore. Is Jaime Jaquez the third best rookie behind Chet and Wemby? It's a good question. He has been solid. I think his production is wildly overrated. Like, wildly. But, maybe. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Like, Cason Wallace has been... look, Derek Lively, probably, I think, has been better than Jaime. I think really soon Pajemski will probably step up into that discussion as well. Like, Jaquez has been pretty good, but he hasn't been that good. There's just a consensus Danish backhand of anything that Miami does. He's been solid, right? He's been fine. But I don't think he's been that good. Will Jar hurt Jaren or help by improving efficiency? He will hurt in terms of usage, but that might be offset by efficiency. I think overall it will end up being relatively neutral, would be my guess. I think the biggest impact on Jaren has been Steven Adams, honestly. Is Kevin Love starting tonight? I would highly, highly doubt that. But he could. Has Sexton earned more minutes when Keontae is back? Sexton's minutes has nothing to do with George, I don't believe. It's because Clarkson is out. So that's why. Like, Sexton is not playing point guard. He is shooting guard, and he's doing exactly what Jordan Clarkson does. He's playing really well, but I don't know that lasts long term, and then it's just going to be him and Clarkson determining that, I'd guess. Is Duncan Robinson must roster 14? Honestly, he has obviously been. Moving forward, I don't know. Because these guys coming back is going to kill a lot of these guys' value, and I don't know that he can hold there. Josh, remind me next year to never enter a Yahoo league that does not have an IL+. Yeah, like I say that every offseason. I say it every time. How long Can I see Olynyk maintain this value? Are we nearing must roster? Yeah, look, maybe. John Collins is out. That's really what's boosting him up. The back and forward between Kessler and Olynyk is frustrating. I think he's okay, but I don't think that he's a must roster guy. Do I know the top names on the active three-pointer streak list? Yeah, Damian Lillard is number one. Number two is someone very weird. Number one is Lillard. I know that. Who's number two? It's someone with like 50 games of made three-pointers in a row. I did know this. No, I don't know. You're going to have to tell me. Lillard is one. I know that. Silas, I haven't seen you in here all year, mate. Welcome back. Will Charlotte ever figure out injury reporting? I'd say it's doubtful. I agree. It is very doubtful. Pick up Nick or Jackson. Nick Richards has more long-term value because I don't know when Mark's going to be back. I don't think Turner's a long-term thing. What do I think about a Holiday for Mobley 1-for-1 trade? If I'm getting Holiday, I'm loving it. Obviously. Who's your pick for sixth man of the year? Bogdan? Probably. I need to check. I don't have the answers to these things off the top of my head. Let me just have a quick look through some stuff and see if I can give an answer that makes any sense. Actually, I'll just do a quick news check to see that I'm not missing anything. Bogdan's still warming up, by the way. Speaking of Bogdanovic, he is listed active, but he's still just warming up. Who would be my sixth man? Top of my head, Bogdan's got to be up there. Who else? I don't know. Just looking through these names on this list. It's not quickly. Cole Anthony was in for a shot, but he's dropped off. Yeah, I don't know, actually. It's not much, is there? There's not much that's really standing out. It probably is Bogdan. Oh, Malik Monk. Malik Monk's the other one. Is it him or Bogdan? It's probably Monk, but I think it's close. Anyway, that's enough of that. Too much time. Here we go. People dropping the Monk name in here. I don't think Norman Powell's in that mix, but yeah. Who do I think is better this season? Brandon Miller or Tari Eason? I would take Eason over Miller. Who on Utah do you think gets traded so Hendricks gets more minutes? Collins or Olynyk? Or they just switch it over anyway? But yeah, Collins would be the guy. They traded nothing to get him. Hasn't really worked out. Move on. Yeah, that's another one, Jared. Austin Reeves has been really, really, really good as a six-man. So he's in that mix too. Him and probably Christian Wood. Is Jara's return going to affect Vince Williams? Yes. I think Vince will still start, but it just obviously means you don't touch the ball as much. So it'll have an impact on him in that regard. Ricardo, you do not know that Mark Williams is out for a long time, so just don't talk in absolutes. Bane for Markkinen? Don't ask those questions. So not don't ask them, but under what context? What are you talking about? What format league? What do you mean? Josh, I gave a big discussion on Jackson Davis in the show that was on prior to this. I don't want to repeat it because I literally just spoke for about 3-4 minutes on him in the earlier show, so go check that out there. Do I think Bam will be on minutes restriction? I do, yes. Is Key going to sell high? Yeah, it really depends on the others in your league and how much they're into the immediacy glazing that happens of Keegan Murray. All right, Keegan Murray was great last game, fantastic, but wasn't before that, and it did take Fox being out to get those shots. So sure, yes. If someone wants to give you, and again, if they look at Yahoo rankings, I'll see him as 57th, which is very clearly bogus. Right? There is under no circumstance would you look at the season and go, yeah, Keegan's actually been top 60 best, fifth round player. No one looks at their team and says that. No one. But if they believe that, based on that ranking, then if you can get a top 60 player, you do it immediately. They said Clarkson is tradable. They actually didn't say anybody is tradable, to be honest. There's always little rumors and reports, but Clarkson just signed a new contract, so I'm pretty sure he even... Well, can he be... Oh, yeah, December 15th. But yeah, so maybe he can be. But they really like him. This is... Okay, I saw something here and I've just scrolled past it. I'm going to go back to it. right? Not to pick on this guy, but a little bit to pick on this guy. He says, I'm 42 years old and pulled a muscle in my back and was literally 100% in 2 days. Mark Williams is such a weakling. Okay, prophetic days, cool, tough guy, all that stuff, right? This is my problem with the way that Charlotte reports injuries, is that they make people, when you shouldn't say this sort of stuff. You don't know what I'm sure Mark Williams would beat the shit out of you into an absolute pulp, right? But we don't actually know what's going on. The fact that they label him doubtful every game is absolutely not a true reflection of what's actually going on with his back. You have no concept of what's happening. And this is why this bad injury reporting is bad for the players. It's not about putting an unnecessary return time for table on it. It means that people think that they're being piss poor and weak and sitting out games. You don't know what's going on. He literally might have a fractured vertebrae. Gordon Hayward was listed with shoulder soreness. You know what happened last season with his doubtful tags? Fractured shoulder. Like, you don't know any of this stuff. So to call a 7'2" man or 7'1" man who's big and strong as shit a weakling because of Charlotte's bad injury reporting, that's poor form from you, but also it's why I hate that organization. A Kongwu in a 10-team 9-cat league, roster or stream. I think you probably want to roster him at this point. I think that is possible about Herb Jones, that he will lose minutes and become a stock streamer eventually. Don't say stocks. I think that might happen. We're not there yet, but I think it'll happen. Do I reckon I'd prefer watching NBA at night or during the Arvo here in Australia? Well, because of my job, it's way better in the afternoon. But if I worked a regular job, then at night would be good. But I also imagine that things at home would be like, hey, you can't watch basketball every single night. And so that wouldn't go too well in that regard. So, yeah, it's much better for me here. Start Neesmith or Dort in the bowl. That is a tough one. It's probably Neesmith to me. Yeah, look, he probably is gonna foul out in that quick time. Yes. Is Hayward eventually a drop? Maybe, but he's not now, so we don't have to worry about that too much at this point. Should Exum play at the 3 when Kyrie comes back? He will definitely get minutes at the 3, but they'll have him, they'll have Green, they'll have Jones, and when you've got 3 people trying to be into that one spot, plus the minutes that Hardaway has to get, it just means that none of them probably play enough, so that makes it tough. Do I think overpaying a bit for Kobe and DeRozan in a 9-cat league is a good move in light of potential trades? I think making any move in fantasy based on potential trades is a general negative EV proposition. It might work out occasionally, but you're probably going to have a 10% hit rate on that. So overpaying in a trade is never a good idea. And doing it based on a trade that you think might happen is also a terrible idea. It might work, but I would not do it. Is Marcus Smart must roster in category leagues? I think so, yeah. How will his role look next to Jar and Bane? Obviously less ball handling, but he's going to be the backup point guard too. He might actually come off the bench and play 30 minutes because they don't have a backup point guard. So he'll get those minutes. He'll play on the wing. I think he is, but I would have him and see what happens, and then we adjust when we see how the role looks because we just don't know at this stage. Let's have a look. How do I feel about Jalen Johnson when he comes back? Okongwu showing he can play power forward. Do you think I continue that? No, I think that Jalen Johnson was so good that his role is not in any risk at all. Not at all. Levert not starting today. Didn't start last game. Won't start moving forward. He's still worth having. Yes. Thoughts on Kuzma rest of the season? I think he's going to play some basketball. You're worried about holding him until April. Well, you shouldn't be playing in April to begin with. And yeah, look, he probably doesn't play in April. I would be shocked if he does. But it's the 18th of December in the US. We are a long way away from that. So I don't think you need to be making moves for that. Asar, silly season potential. The Pistons are in silly season now. What's going on with their team? I do like Asar Thompson, but are they going to be worse than they are now? That's tough, isn't it? Let's go back and check on news. Nothing's going on. No more news. Is Kessler a buy low or potential to be dropped in 12 team? He's way more of a buy low than he is a drop. Another 15-minute game for Giddy today. I'll put the over way above that, but not to 30. Like, that was the anomaly. Also, remember, I try and teach things which can be important memories. Who am I? Important things to keep in your memory when you're playing fantasy. Giddy played 15 minutes last game. That does not mean that is what the rotation is every night moving forward. He struggled in the first half. They benched him. He just didn't play. But coaches don't usually go, all right, well, that's what we did last game, so that's exactly what we're going to do moving forward. He'll start again. Unless they change the lineup, he'll start again. He'll probably play 25 minutes, and they'll bench him down the stretch unless he struggles even more. So, like, what happened last game is not indicative of what they're going to do in every game moving forward. It was just a game where they benched him, and that's happened many times. Just doesn't always happen. Why is Wemby out tomorrow? He is ankle soreness. Matthew says I missed the sound drops. Okay.
Get that garbage out of here.
Should you trade Kobe for Kessler? Ricardo, probably no. But another key lesson, not just for you, for everybody, that's the sort of trade that literally nobody can answer. Because that is one that just changes your team completely. You use bunches of points, you lose assists, you lose free throws, you lose 3-pointers, but you gain rebounds, blocks, and field goal percentage and get a real hit on your free throws. And it might turn your team into a great team, or it might make them absolutely shitful. Irrespective, that's just not a trade that you make of Kobe White. Like, you just don't do that. But it's very important to be able to understand how different your teams can be in that scenario. Do I think Latin JJJ holds value? No, I don't. Nope. Welcome to the show for the first time, Fetty. Why did I have to remove them? Copyright issues. Is Bogdanovic active? He is, but we still don't know that he's officially going to play. He's listed active, but they're still testing him out. I expect that he plays, but we don't know that yet. Will Okoro win the 3 spot on the Cavs? I think he already has, Vince. He's there. He's starting now. I don't see that changing. Tacos or burritos? Definitely not hard shell tacos. They can get in the bin. It's probably soft shell tacos ahead of burritos, but I do like a burrito. Should you be cautious with trades for Mobley in terms of return value, or is anything worth it? Honestly, I have him in a league and I dropped him because it's going to be after All-Star. It's going to be towards fantasy playoffs. I already had my IL spots full with 4 other injuries. And I think he's going to be limited when he comes back. And I just couldn't afford to hold on to that because I had some other longer-term ones that are going to come back sooner. Yeah, it was a bad move, it could have been, but I needed to get guys in to win now. Jay is a good question, and I think it's an interesting answer. Do you think that top players have a tendency to play slower and less competitive when they're playing against weaker opposition and up their performance in a competitive game? What I would say to you, Jay, is go and have a look at what Joel Embiid did last week. And there's your answer. He played against the worst teams in the NBA. He didn't play a single fourth quarter and still averaged like 35 and 15 or whatever it was. So, no, I don't think there's a problem with that. And I think sometimes we get into things and we overthink things so much. I go, I'm going to drop this guy down because of this matchup. And in the end, it's just not what happens. Game of the night. Let's have a look. What is the game? From a fantasy viewing, Minnesota-Miami, I think is probably the game of the night. I'm just looking. Dallas-Denver would be better if Kyrie was playing. I think it's Minnesota-Miami is the game of the night. That's probably one of the fantasy games of the night as well, just to see what happens with Miami's rotation. Yeah, let's just go with that one. Just checking if there's any more news. Nothing else has come through yet. Yeah, I know. I was in Mexico in July. No hard shell tacos. I know, because they're bad. They just have proper tacos. What's up with John Collins? He's sick. What's the story of me getting Jack to do it? He was on Cameo, and I just said, "Hey, Jack, I want to use your get the garbage out of here phrase as a sound drop on my show. If you're able to do it, I'd really appreciate it." And he did it. That was it. Has Bailey Smith played his last? No, he'll be back. Don't worry, he's playing. Obviously not this season, but he'll be back. I hope. All right, we are going to head out of here. So again, thanks to everyone being on the show. Single bang it up. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe. And that's always a good way to help out. I'm going to hit the little subscribe little thing. Oh, there you go. Hit that subscribe button. And then I'll see you guys around later.